Hey guys, welcome to another episode. Here we got the Never Give Up podcast. We got a great topic for you guys here today. We're building resilience. And when it comes to building your legacy, we got Rocky Rummy here like always. Let's get right into it. I see Rummy's
Great
fixing
topic.
himself over there.
I don't know if it's a great topic. It's a great topic this week, guys.
It's a great topic.
It's always a great topic when it comes to it, guys.
What the hell is going on? I think a lot of you guys out there might be needing to hear this because I think I needed to hear this last week. I know I had a foggy week. I call it foggy. I wasn't down, but it was just when you have a cloud on top of your head and nothing's really going right, shit's going wrong, and you don't know what the hell you're doing, why you're in the business. It was,
like,
dude, it was so much, man. I was just like, I got so many plates going on, and I'm like, I just don't know what to do, right? I mean, it was just a big cloud, and even though you get trained, you listen to so much shit out there, and you got the podcast going in your head, or you got the fucking,
YouTube
CD
videos,
the audio book, the YouTube video,
50 cents book,
everything is great. So go out there and go do it, right? I mean, that's really what the topic is about today. So I'll start. Actually, I want Rocky to start because Rocky was sharing something right before this and really just talking about his personal experience that he's going through right now.
Yeah, guys, it's hard, man. Sometimes you feel like you should be excited and you feel like you're doing the right things and you lay out the game plan and you talk to your mentor. Your mentor's like, yeah, and you see it there and you feel like you're doing it, but sometimes you just get lost into words. Like a little bit by myself, the daycare finally got approved, finally about to open soon, and doing the research, about to open the new LLC for the daycare. Instead of feeling motivated, instead of feeling like I'm ready, I returned the car to do Uber because a little nugget here in New York City, to do Uber in New York City, you need to have a TLC car, and TLC car is a commercial plate car, which they was charging me $600 a week just for the car, besides gas, tolls, and everything. So when I was talking with Rum is like, you're losing money because you're not doing so much Uber because you're focusing on growing your other businesses. It makes no sense to keep the car. So I went ahead, returned the car, got the daycare approved, about to open. Instead of being happy, I'm just like a sack of potato, guys. Like, I'm struggling to get off the bed. I even want to purchase a whole brand new car. Like, I should be excited. I got a brand new car sitting inside. And instead of being excited about that, I'm just like, yo, I can't get up the bed. I can't make my calls. And I'm like, I'm picking up the phone to call somebody, and I'm scared. I'm like, don't answer. Ah, damn, they answered. And I'm like, hey, you still thinking about selling your home? And they're like, So it's a struggle, man. And sometimes you just got to go out there and do it. Me and George were speaking earlier today about it. And George was like, bro, why are we so afraid? Like, if they don't like our voice, we just move on to the next one. Yeah. And it's that, guys. Sometimes you can't be afraid of doing it. You just got to do it.
I mean, I'm going to dig into you a little bit more. First of all, we're not saying Uber driving is a bad thing. If you got to feed your family like Rocky did, he grinded what he needed to do, but he was focused on building his business, and then that's where he's at right now. He's building three of his businesses right now. All right, Rocky? I think it was three of them right now. And mathematically didn't make sense. So we're not saying to you, if you have to go out there and grind, I don't care if I had to go shoe signing again, or I used to be working in a gas station. I was 13. Hey, dude, clean cars. I'll do it, whatever it takes, right? Even for me, one time, I'm like, yo, I might go just do this bus driving thing early in the morning and make like a couple $100 to get by. I don't care. So let's not get that in your head. What we're talking about is that cloud over your head, and that's what actually Rocky's feeling right now. I felt like that. I know George felt like that. It was like all of us is going through this shit. Sometimes everybody around you, and then you're just trying to like make things happen, and it's not happening. And I think that's what it was. And we got to get out of the funk, right? What I realized is that I have to be around people, and I got this from, and I couldn't pinpoint what it was, right? It was something that I really think that in the last chapter, I think for me, it was the most important thing. He said, who is withdrawing from your life and who's putting deposit in your life? Who's taking withdrawals in your life and who was taking positive? And honestly, me and my wife sat down. Even my kids were taking too much withdrawals. I was like,
taking too much out?
Yeah, fucking people. I mean, every single day it was like, I need this. I don't want to clean up. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I came from shit, right? So for me, and I just took it to India. My kids like, I don't want to go. I said, you freaking gone. And you're going to learn that who we really are, right? One of the things that I got advantage of, and I'm grateful for, because I'm the first immigrant that came here. My parents and me obviously we came at the same time, but we know the hard life that happened, right? These kids don't. They came in here, they got born, and look, like, they got a nice looking house, parents got money or whatever have you, and then all of a sudden, got X amount of bedrooms, and all of a sudden we were like, what are we doing wrong? What are we doing wrong, right? But I'm just giving that example. So one thing that I said to myself, what I got from the book, who's taking too many withdrawals, right? If you keep taking too many withdrawals, what happens to the bank account?
It goes negative, it goes empty. You got to chase a little.
Overdrive fee.
Right? Yeah. If nobody's putting any kind of positive deposit in there or any kind of deposit, and I won't talk about money, it could be, like you guys said, we could have a quick chat. That's a positive chat, right? It's
or even like a book recommendation. It could be anything.
Recommendation, anything that adds value.
Adds value. Who is doing that in your life? And I had to look around and I'm like, I got too many people in my life that's taking withdrawals. And that's what's draining me. And it was just draining me. And all of a sudden, dude, I just changed everything. I've been around people that deposited. I've been on phone calls 3-4 hours strategizing. One of the things, and I recommend everybody doing, right? We all have these vision boards, right? And I talked about it. You guys talked about it. I did it with you guys too as well. We all, everybody's ranting and raving. I took this great training program actually tonight too as well from our EXP VP and our CEO. And he literally said, you have to have a vision board or why what you're doing as a couple. And my wife and I made her go through the program. I went through the program and we're just in like the third week. We had to create a why, a big why. Why you're doing this? Yes, we have a vision board on a yearly base, but why we're really doing this? And it boiled down to that we want to create a legacy and with passive income so we could create the experiences for our kids, for our friends, for everybody around us, and giving back. In order to do that, what we need to create, what we need to build, right? It kind of started off with that. And I didn't have anything in front of me. Yes, I have EXP. Yes, I have a couple other things, but I didn't have a big vision. And all of a sudden, I just got with this guy and, me and this individual, he's like, yo, you got this talent. I got this talent. Why don't we combine it together? And why don't we go out there and just sell it because we have talent when we combine it. I said, great. So we started looking into that. We trying to build that out. Then we got another one and there's a big problem. I'm going through the process of this, right? And I'm just putting it out there so that way I don't want to take away from the topic. But the next thing was, where is another problem that we're facing? It was rentals, right? There's no real internal system out there except for the MLS, which you have to be listed. We don't have an internal system. How do we help renting people that are not want to list with us or renters that don't want to sign up with us? So we're trying to solve that problem. And he literally built half of it, but he needed to build the other half or with ideas from another person. So we're like, okay, let's create that. So he got the technology, I got the front end. I'm like, wow, because we sat down and we had a big why, right? And then that's kind of start driving us forward. So that cloud that you're facing, Rocky, and I'm pretty sure somebody's listening to this and facing this freaking cloud too as well. You got to have people who's making amazing deposit in your life. Who can you reach out to today? Who can you reach out to right now and say, what is it? And a deposit, it might be a book like you guys said. It might be somebody that you're listening to. It might be a withdrawal is also freaking getting up and listening to music all day and that's not giving you anything. Or it might be news, negative news. That's a withdrawal, right? What is the deposit that you're having in your life? So, that might be your reason too. I don't know, Rocky. What are you around that's giving you a deposit and that's going to add something to you, right? That's so important. And for me, it was so important to get out of the funk. And all of a sudden, now I'm like, okay. I created a video today, George, believe it or not, 3-step video. And I had a conversation with one of my other team leaders. And I want to talk over this, but I just want you guys to think about outside the box and how do we get out. He started complaining to me about how his agents are not doing production. Started complaining to me about, hey, he's going to be hiring 10 agents. How do we go through the process? But he doesn't want to go through pitfalls that we have, right? Agent comes in and then they don't want to do anything. They don't want to make calls. And we're like, okay, what do we need to focus on? So we literally, and it was in my head. I don't know why. And I think we spoke about it on Tuesday, right, George? Tuesday?
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
3 things, right? We said, hey, 3 things got to happen with any brand new agents. 1, you got to build your skill. If you're not building your skill, screw it. Number 2, it's going to be what? It's going to be mostly focused on being consistent on making calls. Doesn't matter if you know the script. And then number 3 is going to be consistency. That's it, right? So talking to this individual and he's adding some positive, I'm adding positive things to him, a deposit to him. And all of a sudden we created something that was out of the blue, which we just did another podcast. So who's making some deposits in your life, guys?
I was really, because I listened to that book maybe 3 to 4 times as I was driving around. I used to do Uber Eats as well. I after having a talk with from him as I was focusing.
Well, say it again, because I want people to listen, because I don't want them to get away from, like, if you got to work hard sometimes, you got to work hard. Say it again, what you just said. Hard.
So I listened to the book like 3 to 4 times while I was doing Uber Eats for a good like 20 hours straight, almost. Like I go home, sleep, wake up, do a little call and do that, right? Because I was in the mentality of I have to get this now. I don't care what, I go get this now. And I would tell everyone else I'm doing this and that and that. Whatever I was saying I'm doing else, because if I tell them I'm doing Uber Eats or I'm working, they're like, oh, take a break. Oh, chill out for a sec. You don't got to do that. You can go home or let's go eat. It's like, no. What am I gonna eat with pennies? No, no real purpose in that. And so after having a talk with Rummy, I stopped that and I focused on what really matters. And I also focused what's taken out and was deposited into my life. There's this 80-20 rule, guys. Reading books is very important. I want everyone to know that reading, and you guys know that here too. We always talk about it. Reading or listening to books and continuously educating yourself is very important. And you maybe take 1 or 2 nuggets from it, like the entitlement you think you took from it, right? And deposit withdrawals. Those little, they stay with you.
Yeah.
One rule, this is from a 4-hour work week. I'm not sure how much I believe in the book, but the 4-hour work week, one thing that I took away from it was the 80-20 rule. 80% of your problems come from 20% of the people, or 20% of whatever you're doing. There's probably 20% of people in your life taking withdrawals, and you think to yourself, I'm drained. If you speak to someone, you feel drained after, that's someone taking withdrawals from your life.
Yeah.
They took energy out. They took energy away. And if you speak to someone, you feel energized right after, they made a deposit. It's a simple principle. And there's a couple of people that withdraw from my life because I like to help people. And I don't help myself sometimes because of that. And I lose a lot of energy throughout the day.
Isn't that a powerful word?
Yeah.
Isn't that a freaking powerful word? And I was just like, damn. And it could be something simple, right? I have, there was some recycling that has to be done in my house. And I could do it, but I'm like, I'm fucking working too hard. My son comes in, diggling and daggling. He's 13 years old, turning about 14. And this is what I got, entitlement. I'm like, this mofo is sitting back. And he's like, yo, dad, you be saying some shit. And everybody's like, my friends are reading it. Honestly, I don't care. Like, they're talking about me. What did he say? If they're talking about me on the topic, right?
Yep.
Because they're like, yo, he be making fun of you. I'm like, I don't care. Yeah. But I'm like, yo, and then I sat back and I'm like, yo, I could do this. I could throw it. I mean, it's nothing. It's like picking it up and throwing it maybe a couple of steps. Mm-hmm. I left it one day. Second day, I woke up this morning and I just said to him, what do you like? And he's like, oh, okay. Yeah. I said, okay, when you come home, all I want to know is what kind of, and I said it in a way, and I want you guys to think about deposit. What are you going to do for me when I have done this for you, right? People might be like, oh, this is your son. No, fuck that.
Nah, fuck that, man.
You can take out the garbage. I ain't taking out your garbage. You can clean up your room. What's the deposit? And it could be, we're being a little bit harsh, but honestly, I think that's what people need to hear, right? Yeah. What's the deposit that people are making in your life? And it could be anyone, because if you had too many withdrawals, and I think that's where people get into the funk. And that's why you got to go up and go do it, right? The topic is get up and go do something, because now you have to align yourself with the right people that will say, hey, okay, good. Okay, deposit. Now I'm going to go, and then all of a sudden the engine's going to stop moving. Even if I always say, like you said, I don't believe in the 4-hour work week, but I looked at it many, many times. But you know what happened in the 4-hour work weeks? It ignited my brain to say, how can I do less, right?
Yeah, work smarter, not harder.
Exactly. That was the most important part.
And that's another good thing, because eventually he worked hard for a while, but eventually he got to the point where he started working smarter, which is something I did take away from it. Because there's a balance. There's a balance by which you can grow and not kill yourself to grow, And you're going to make mistakes. It's going to be a balancing act. But once you get there, then you can just replicate it and grow from there. That's one of the things I got from the book. We got to do a book recommendation podcast maybe one day and do that. There's a lot of books out there.
A lot of good books out there, man. And not just that. It's just also, going on that, piggyback on that. It's not so much a hard work week. A lot of times, we see somebody, for example, we could take a look at Rami, like, yo, Rami only really do this and he got this, I'm going to list him. But it's like, we didn't see the whole time, a whole long project, the whole game plan, how he managed to get to this point what we're looking at. But we didn't look back 20 years ago when he first started, 2 decades ago, when he started his career, how he was day in, day out making the calls and now not taking a no for an answer, keep doing his jobs. And we just looking at 2 decades later, wow, Rami just get a listen by calling one person. I want to do that. But we didn't do the 2 decades of work to get there, to work only 4 hours to be able to get that same productivity. That's the issue. So sometimes you just got to out there and put a grind and forget about what somebody's doing 2 decades later, because that's their chapter. You're not in the same chapter as them. You're in your first chapter. You can't compare your chapter 1 to somebody chapter 20, chapter 15. So that's really struggling. And, a lot of us go through it. And me, myself, I was like, yo, what the hell, man? I should be happy, but I'm not. I'm just not. I'm with this frog on top of me, like, oh, man, like, what's going on? And even my mom is like, she was making a deposit yesterday. And I'm like, you just saying it because you're my mom. She's like, you should be ecstatic. You should be getting up early, doing some exercise. Now you have some time to to make your call, nobody's bothering you, you know, and if you still need the funds, you could grab your new car, go do Uber Eats in the afternoon. Like, what's your issue? And I'm like, you just telling me this because you're my mom, man. Just leave me alone. And it's not. So like you said, we got to look for those disposals, and it could come from anybody. Sometimes it could come from your kid. You know, sometimes your kid could be like, yo, you're the best. And you're like, I'm the best. The best of what? He's like, oh, you're doing good. And sometimes you just need that. Somebody telling you you're doing good. And you go out there and keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah. The narrative you speak to yourself in your mind is very important too. If the words you're telling yourself in your own head is negative, you're going to project the negativity. You know, I deal with that a lot of times myself, honestly, sometimes. Way better on it now. This is guy on YouTube, I forgot his last name, starts with an H. Drops a lot of good nuggets. One of the things he says is the greatest killer of happiness is expectation. And the idea behind it, if a lot of unhappiness is when you expect 10 listings. Maybe you expect, like, I should have woke up at 6 a.m. on the dot today. Maybe you woke up 6:05. Okay, get up, go do it. Yes, you're 5 minutes late. So what? It's the perception of it, right? And he's like, yeah, you know, he has $87 million. He's chilling. He's fine. He still wakes up at 5 a.m. But he says it might be 5:15, might be 4:45. But as long as it's within that time frame and he gets up and he can do his thing. And a lot of I'll wake up and it's like, damn, I woke up half an hour late. And I'm here carrying that negativity the whole day of me. Like, oh, I didn't do it. I made a mistake. Or I'll make 10 calls, not 20. Or I'll make 20, not 40. And I'm always unhappy. But I'm unhappy because I'm expecting something that I'm not accomplishing, not realizing I am going somewhere. I just got to keep the consistency and the momentum up. A lot of people, especially you listening, I think we all go through this. You kill your own momentum because you're like, shit, I fucked up.
Or you say, I didn't get anything. Or I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and I go back with the first conversation. I think it was on Monday. Even Monday, it was like, oh, I didn't get nothing. Tuesday, we didn't get nothing. Wednesday, and all of a sudden, Wednesday, something happened. I'm like, oh shit, we got a listing appointment. And then Thursday happened. And then I'm like, oh shit, we finally got a listing. I'm like, oh crap. Okay. Now it's like, oh, now we have another exit plan. So it's almost as though as you keep being consistent and committed to what you want to do, you will achieve that success, right? You got to have a plan. And I don't want to go through all that right now. But when you start thinking about whatever is consistency in your life, and I'll go back and sometimes, you know, that self-talk it was funny because I started running again. I'm like, you know, I'm trying to run 4 days a week, not to kind of completely hurt my body. Then, you know, gradually grow. I was used to doing 5 to 7. Sometimes I did 10. Like I was like, holy shit. And now I'm huffing and puffing at 2.
But I'm already huffing and puffing at 4. I'm here.
And then at 4, my whole feet are burning. But then I realized that it took what I did before because I was always looking at the results. And if I go back because I have, you know, here, it was like 1 mile, 2 miles. Sometimes I just do a mile, then 2 miles, back and forth. Then I had the 3 and the 4. It was just the consistency that I just got up and got out of my bed and just got out of my house. If I do that, I could just walk. And obviously, you know, eventually you're going to be like walking and whatever have you, but it's a compounding effect that happens. And the self-talk is really about, I used to run up these hills in New York, and New York is plateau, right? So it was like hill and a hill. And every time we used to go up the hill, it was literally like this on the car. You had to put the accelerator. I'm like, man, if I start making these hills, I could be a beast. And I started doing it. But every time Rocky, I used to go up there and be like, yeah, I did it. I did it. I did it. I did it. You have no idea. Then I did it the next time. I jogged up there. I'm like, I'm going to start jogging. Then by the time I was done, I was doing I was going backwards. I was eating that hill. You know, I was telling me and my son, because he was training for football, let's eat this hill. Let's eat this hill up. So, but it takes consistency to doing that. And that self-talk was, even now when I was back, I'm like, I'm back, bitches. I'm back, bitches. I'm back, right? Because I knew that this was my outlet of running, right? I love working out. I do love everything else, but my outlet is go out there, go see some greenery, get some fresh air. And I knew that this is going to be my next level of greatness that's about to come. So, but it is that self-talk, because I knew once I got into that, then I come into the job or I come into my business and I'm just hitting, you know, and I'll probably land a one punch or hit a slam dunk. So self-talk is really important. Consistency is really important. You got to start with something. And obviously the deposits and withdrawals, who's depositing, who's withdrawing, and really keeping it real with you. And I think a lot of people out there won't, because they just want to pamper you too as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and to jump in, a lot of people are scared of conflict, right? Even myself, I'm a victim of that sometimes as well. And so they don't want to have those tough conversations because, like, oh, I don't want to offend this person. But then if you're never comfortable having a crucial conversation, or that relationship or friendship you have with someone will never grow because you're not willing to be real. And I feel a lot of people definitely suffer from that fear, right? This is from someone who used to be like that, and sometimes I still am. And it's a consistent battle. Another good book, I don't know why I keep recommending books, is we need to get a couple of sponsorships then. But is it The Way of the Superior Man? Is a very great book. I've read it multiple times too. The first chapter, is it the first chapter or the second one? But the basis of it is it's a never-ending battle. This whole like the whole daily like I don't want to get up, I don't want to do this and that. It will never end. You're gonna be consistently at war with yourself, and it's up to you whether or not you win or lose that war. You may win, you may lose a couple battles, but it's up to you to decide whether or not that has an impact for the next day.
Yeah, 100%. Like, even now that you're throwing a book, I'm gonna throw a book out there too. If you have an hour, guys, an hour and 19 minutes to be exact. This is a quick book you can bang out, and it's about self-talk. It's called Negative Self-Talk and How to Change It. And it's a quick book, guys. It's an hour and 19 minutes. The audiobook's only an hour and 19 minutes. You can probably read it faster. Bang it out. It has a great way to just rethink the way you think through things. And sometimes you just gotta tell yourself, you're that motherfucking man that could get it done. Like just go do it. And there's nobody bigger than yourself that could tell yourself how much you could do. And just that, you just gotta stay in there. Sometimes with everything going through in life, you don't take the small time to tell yourself, yo, you've been doing good. Keep doing it. Like, yeah, you might have a flunk 2-3 days, but then you need those positive people, those people that's making those great deposit in you. Yep. And you go and you're like, hey, even sometimes you even contact them. Like sometimes they contact you on their own. They're like, yo, what's going on? I haven't seen you. Like, you good? Everything good? And just those conversations when they might be a great deposit. You're like, yo, I'm mad. I'm important. Let me go out there and do it. No matter from who it comes from, your mom, your son, your grandma, a stranger in the street, somebody that say, hey, I saw your sign, or anybody. Like, those little good deposits, always take them to heart and use those to keep pushing through.
And another thing I'll throw in there, right? This is something that I feel a lot of people do not do. If you listening to this podcast, you go through, you get a couple nuggets that we're all talking about, withdrawals, deposits, 80-20, self-talk, all the book recommendations, everything about like that we said, apply it. Don't just listen and then go back.
We always listen. I mean, think about it. We always listen. The applying part is a hard fucking part.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Let's just sit here and let's be real. Like, applying part is a hard fucking part that we have to go through. Like, yeah. Because I always get to that point. I listen to a lot of coaches. I'm around a lot of people. Yeah. Okay, how do I do it? And sometimes it's just that simple. Like, okay, just get out of freaking bed. Go walk, right? Rocky's saying, I want to get up. Like, get your ass out of bed, bro. Ain't nobody going to tell you. I ain't going to come there and kick your ass.
David Goggins, they can open the door for you, make you run.
So, yes, apply it. And it's easy to say that. Now, I don't want to shut you down over there, but I always feel like, what do I need to do now? What you need to do now is a first step. If it's for Rocky, get out of bed. If it's for me, get around people that are doing massive amount of great deposit, right? Or it's just go for a fucking run. I just got sick of not losing weight, and I said, fuck it, I'm just gonna go for a run. I got nothing else in my arsenal. That's all I have, and I'll check my weight tomorrow. But sometime, and then your brain is gonna start, like you said, like I think Rocky just said this a couple of seconds ago, that you are the biggest advocate for yourself and the worst person for yourself too as well. It's like
it's true.
It's either or, but the most important part is if you're listening to something, did something ignite in your head? Did something ignite to say, you know what, screw this. I had enough of being in this position, because I think that's what it was for me. I'm like, I'm too old to be sitting here and having this fucking cloud on my head. Like, fuck that shit. I control my own cloud. And I just got sick of it, and I just made a change. And once I made the change, it was like, I didn't know what to do. The first thing that I got up on freaking Monday, I just went outside and I said, you know what, I'm just gonna go walk. Then, that's when it started igniting. Okay, now think positive. Okay, write your goal down. Wake up early. Those things will come, but I think one is just getting out of the funk. And if you can't get out of the funk, you need a drastic change. And if you can't have that drastic change, you need an environment change. Because now, as I'm thinking about it, Rocky, you just have a comfortable environment. That's what it was. Now, Rocky's a boss of his own boss. Guess what? His boss is like, you can relax today, bro. You're all right. You good.
You can chill out.
Man. You can chill out. You all right, man. I'm going to give you a bonus tomorrow. Yeah, dude. So I think we should end it here, man. It's taking I think there was a lot of stuff, and I just want to listen to understand that we are going through the same thing, right? It's not about multi-millionaires, or we're some people that are coming in here telling you what to do. We are walking you through the experiences, and if you're listening to this on a consistent base, experience what we're experiencing as and grow with us and see our journey, right? Sometimes we want to quit doing podcasts too, but I think we're committed. We're committed because we can't come up with a fucking topic.
Yeah, my God. Yeah, 100%.
Use AIs.
I know somebody's fucking laughing. Anyways, yeah, guys, thank you for tuning in. Subscribe, hit the like button. You know, you got some real people here, people who are struggling, people who are making it up, people who are, you know, going to the next level every single way and never giving up. That's what the podcast is about, building a legacy. And within a year, let's see where the changes take us.
Let's go.
100%, guys. See you next week.
All right, guys. See you next week.